Head coach Ron Rivera and general manager Marty Hurney have made a clear indication this offseason that the Panthers' main priority would be to rebuild a struggling pass rush. They did this through a series of key acquisitions through the draft and free agency. However, one glaring need that wasn't addressed this offseason was the safety position. Last year, the Panthers signed Eric Reid as a free agent, who will be the mainstay at one of the safety positions on the defense. They also drafted Rashaan Gaulden, third-round pick out of Tennessee. Gaulden primarily played nickel corner in college, so his transition to the safety position was somewhat of a projection when the team drafted him. But now entering his second year, Gaulden will enter camp as the favorite to lock up the starting safety role opposite Eric Reid. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to break down Gaulden's game, see what he brings to the table, and things he needs to work on in order to be a key contributor to the Panthers in this secondary. First, it's important to understand the role of the safety in the Panthers defense. We touched on this briefly in the video about coverages. What we did, we tracked the pre-snap alignments of Eric Reid, Mike Adams, and Rashaan Gaulden throughout the season to get an idea of how often they lined up at each one of the positions. As you can see, it's pretty much that split down the middle, which shows that the safety is pretty much an interchangeable position in the Panthers defense. Ron Rivera likes to have interchangeable safeties with versatile skill sets to be able to better disguise coverages the way he does. So what you want from your safety is you want a guy that can be able to step into the box and defend against the run, cover backs and tight ends, and be a curl flat defender in zone coverages, but also be able to be comfortable enough and play in a single high role in a cover 1 or a cover 3 defense. So pretty much you need an athlete that can handle both roles. Keep this in mind as we go through the film of Rashaan Gaulden. Coming out of college, there was a lot to like about Gaulden's game film. He played the nickel position, which is basically a hybrid of a corner and a safety, so he brings value in both coverage and in run support. Gaulden is a physical, instinctive player that shows great read and reactability and awareness. His football instincts allow him to play at a faster speed than what his combine 40 time and agility drills suggest. He also plays with a high energy level, as his teammates nicknamed him the Energizer Bunny. Gaulden also has a bit of an attitude. As we saw in the Alabama game, he rewarded the fans with 2 birds up. Gaulden first saw action at safety in Week 2 against the Atlanta Falcons. Down in the red zone, Luke Kuechly notices the alignment of the Falcons tight end and expects them to run this inside zone play with the tight end coming across the formation with the kickout block. The center is going to try to get a double team on Dontari Poe and then work his way to the second level to get a body on Gaulden. So what Luke wants Gaulden to do is aggressively fill the A-gap. Well, watch here as Gaulden's hesitant in filling the A-gap, and the center is able to work his way off Dontari Poe and get a body on Gaulden on the second level. So despite Luke telling him to aggressively pursue the A-gap, Gaulden was a little hesitant, and as a result, he gets a few 4-letter choice words from Luke. The good news is, filling gaps and run support was the area where Rashaan Gaulden excelled at for the rest of the season. Against the New York Giants, Luke's going to call Gaulden to step down in the box and be the contained defender against the run. That means he can't let anything get outside of him, and if Saquon Barkley gets outside of you, it's basically game, set, match. This time, Gaulden is much more aggressive and confident in filling his gap, gets into the backfield, and is able to get Barkley on the ground for a tackle for a loss. On this play, Rashaan Gaulden has D-gap responsibility to the strong side of the formation on this 2 tight end set. What you'll see here, he's going to be very aggressive and physical as he's able to come up and get the ball carrier on the ground for a minimal gain. And then against Atlanta, the Falcons are going to try to run this zone play to the opposite side of Gaulden. What he'll do, he's going to step up in the box, and he's not going to allow this tight end to reach block him. He's going to be able to get under him, which allows him to chase the ball carrier down from behind and help get in on the tackle. So this is the area where I think Rashaan Gaulden excels at and where he's most comfortable at. Being close to the line of scrimmage, being able to use his instincts and read and reactability, and be that physical presence that the Panthers need in the box from their safeties. This is also similar to the role he played at Tennessee as the nickel corner position, where he was kind of a hybrid linebacker and cornerback and safety. So that type of versatility is an asset for the Panthers defense. especially when your safeties are interchangeable the way they are. At 6'1", 195 pounds and only bench pressing 8 reps, you wouldn't expect that from him, but he's just fearless and he's not afraid to stick his nose in there, take on blocks, and make tackles. The Panthers had difficulty in defending opponents' tight ends in 2018. According to data from Football Outsiders, the team ranked 24th in the NFL in defending opposing tight ends, allowing almost 60 yards per game. So this is an area where we like to see the team improve in this upcoming year. According to Ron Rivera, when they originally drafted Gaulden, he felt that this was one of his strengths, being able to match up with opponents' tight ends and be able to play man coverage. Against the Bengals, Rashaan Gaulden was lined up in man coverage on the outside. In coverage, he likes to use what we call his shuffle technique, which allows him to be prepared to break on any in-breaking or out-breaking routes and turn around and run with his man when he feels that his cushion is being threatened. Here he does a good job of staying with the Bengals tight end throughout the duration of the route, but unfortunately there was a breakdown in coverage behind him. There aren't a lot of reps with Gaulden in man coverage, so this is just something we have to look out for this summer in training camp and preseason. So what we do know about Gaulden is that as a box safety, he has a well-rounded skill set and can be an immediate impact player. But what about those other 50% of the snaps, give or take, where he has to line up at free safety and drop into deep halves, deep thirds, or quarters coverage? I think that'll ultimately determine not only whether he'll be able to earn a starting role with the team this season, but be able to hold on to that starting role and be that long-term answer at safety. Against the Atlanta Falcons, the Panthers come out in a cover 4. The safeties are going to initially play close to the line of scrimmage, so they have to drop quickly and get depth into their deep quarters coverage. Gaulden first going to check for play action, then he does a good job initially of gaining depth into his coverage zone. But then he gets nervous and wonders what's going on behind him, and in doing so, he loses track of Julio Jones behind him. So that's just an example of how the learning curve at the free safety position. You just want to see if he's in year 2, if he gets more comfortable in that role playing in space like that. Let's take a look at Mike Adams, who's a much more experienced safety. First, he gets those old 39-year-old legs turning to gain depth. Then he's going to be able to find Julio. After that, he locates the football and he's able to make a play on the ball and get the pass breakup. So you just see the difference in experience between Rashaan Gaulden, who was in his first year playing that safety position, and Mike Adams, who's been playing this position for years and years. So that's one thing we're just going to have to look at. Is he more comfortable playing in space in his second year in the league? So while he still has areas for improvement, he did still show a lot of good things at free safety last season. On this play, you see his read and react ability and instincts as he's able to come up and get this pass breakup on this route to Michael Thomas. So, you just see that he can make plays on the ball, which is a positive for a free safety. That's what you want to see on your team. And here, the Redskins run this slant route and he comes up and he's able to make the tackle. So when he's able to read and react and play downhill like this, he's a solid player. So it's just, playing backwards and covering in space is what we want to see, where we want to see that year 1 to year 2 improvement. I just think that'll come with more experience. Then the last thing you want to look for with Rashaan Gaulden, you just want to get a general idea of how well he's processing things. Does he recognize the route combinations developing in front of him? Is he getting to his assigned area and being where he's supposed to be? Because ultimately that's what you need from your safeties, just be in the right spot. That way when the ball does get thrown your way, you will be in position to make a play on the ball. You're not going to see those highlight reel interceptions or pass deflections because he just wasn't targeted a lot. But what you do see, he's got a good grasp of what he sees out there. He gets to the right spot. Receivers aren't getting over top of him. So he'll be in position to make a play on the ball those times he does get targeted. So do I think Rashaan Gaulden is a long-term answer at safety for the Panthers? I don't even think the coaching staff can answer that question yet. But do I think I've seen enough of him right now to think he deserves an opportunity to be a starter? Absolutely. He has a well-rounded skill set in the box, as a strong safety to be able to, provide a benefit to the Panthers defense. And then if those awareness and read and react skills can translate to being a free safety as well, I think he can be a solid starter for the team. So I think Rashaan Gaulden coming into this summer will be one of the players to look out for in Spartanburg in preseason to see how well he's improved from year 1 to year 2.